Something is really wrong with Twitch. I've been planning on making a video like this for a while, and the headlines that Twitch has made on June 6, 2023 have finally pushed me to do it. Let's talk about why Twitch is failing. In the last year, Twitch has made all sorts of decisions that have put streamers on edge. The top financially related decisions that they've made have been reportedly laying off 400 of their 2,500 employees, changing CEOs, removing the 70-30 split for the few people who had it. There's a huge misconception across streamer Twitter that a lot of the partners have 70-30. That's not the case. Only some of the top or longtime partnered streamers had it, and now nobody does. They've also tried to incentivize running more ads, but they can't seem to incentivize it enough for people who are only making a few dollars each month, which is the majority of streamers, as ad revenue is actually dependent on viewership. They've also recently mentioned increasing the price of Twitch Turbo, which is a service that allows people to browse Twitch without seeing any ads, and they've tested different revenue streams such as elevated chats, which allow people to pay to have chats pinned in a stream. Now, in the last day, Twitch has made headlines making them actually trend on Twitter and having people all the way from Ludwig to Mr. Beast talking about it, and it is because they have altered some policies, including the branded content policy, which disallows certain types of manual promotion for streamers who wanted to promote branded content on their own, thereby monetizing their stream in ways that Twitch hasn't done well with in their advertising programs, along with altering its terms of service for simulcasting, which means that even if you don't have a contract affiliated or partnered with Twitch and you are not even bringing Twitch any revenue, you are now no longer allowed to stream on both Twitch and another platform such as YouTube. Before, it was just affiliates and partners. Now it's anyone. And finally, it is now charging a $25 fee for anyone who would like to terminate their affiliate or partner agreement. But this is not a news video. I am making this video because every single time that Twitch upsets Streamer Nation, we get streamer Twitter all in an uproar with misconceptions and misinformation. So from a finance professional's perspective, let's go over what's actually happening. All right, the absolute number one biggest misconception I see all across streamer Twitter is they're owned by one of the biggest companies in the world, bruh. Why are they stealing the lint from the streamers' pockets? We'll go over this. And some of the other smaller yet important ones are Twitch made $2.8 billion in 2022. They can afford to give streamers a larger percentage of the split. That Kick, a new streaming platform, is the end of Twitch, and that Twitch has no idea what they're doing. Let's actually break down what's real and what's not within these thoughts, and what is actually just a lot of assumptions, so that you as a streamer, or if you're just interested in this topic as a whole, can make informed decisions about it. Let's take some of the basic finance principles of Twitch. Twitch makes money as a freemium model, and when I did research to make sure that I knew all of their different revenue streams, almost every single place that I looked named 4 revenue streams. There is a 5th one, and I don't know if it's not mentioned because it's not profitable, but to be fair, I'm not sure that Twitch is profitable, and I think that's what this whole thing is about. And the reason we don't know for sure is because it's a subsidiary of one of the largest corporations in the world, Amazon. However, you see, subsidiaries are actually partially shielded from reporting their numbers as a separate entity from their parent company, meaning that Twitch, we don't know the entire breakdown of the revenue minus the cost equals the profitability of Twitch, because parent companies will report everything in consolidated reporting, meaning we see all of Amazon's numbers together. So the 5 different types of monetization that Twitch has, the 4 that I've seen all over the internet, are about the same way that streamers make their money, which is people gifting subs, people gifting something called bits, and ad revenue, which allegedly on one reported figure that I saw was about 25% of their revenue, along with merchandising. Now, the 5th one that I thought of was TwitchCon, their annual convention, which maybe they didn't mention it because it's not actually profitable, but Twitch as a whole, again, might not even be profitable, so I think it's worth mentioning. It is still a revenue stream nonetheless. Let's break down Twitch as a business with an example that's accessible to everyone, all right? Because Twitch as a business is kind of complex for somebody who doesn't know a corporate structured environment. So how money works in a corporation, again, is revenue minus expenses equals profit. So let's say you own a bakery, and you sell cookies, you sell donuts, and maybe you start like a little side business. You're like, all right, we have some ovens we're not using. Why don't we, allow some people to just come in and make some pizzas? We'll give them the ingredients. We'll allow them to make whatever pizzas they want whenever they want, and we'll just let them use our ovens. And that starts up. People like the pizzas. There's people coming in. There's some demand for it. And so then they have to invest in more ovens, and they're like, let's go. This is great. But then they realize that some some of the people that make the pizzas aren't charging enough for them, or just aren't making enough in general, or don't have a demand to sustain how many pizzas they're making. This is like Twitch streaming. So let's say that somebody made a pizza, they sell it for $5, and the costs associated with making that pizza for the bakery were $10. So even if, let's say, the bakery was taking 50% of their profit, like Twitch does with streamers, Twitch only made $2.50 of that $5, which is not enough to even cover the $10 costs of the oven and everything else. And that is exactly what might be happening with Twitch right now. Amazon had an idea for why they purchased Twitch in the first place, for why they acquired Twitch, and maybe they fulfilled some of that. Obviously, they have AWS, they have all of these different features. They probably had a strategy in mind with Twitch from the get-go, and they have some benefits with Twitch as an arm of their company that doesn't necessarily need to be the most profitable thing. Actually, it's only 1% of their revenue in general. So when people are saying, well, Amazon, they're owned by Amazon, why doesn't Amazon just stop taking all of the streamers' money? Amazon, this isn't Amazon. Amazon has numerous businesses underneath it. It's not going to just be like, well, this one isn't profitable, let's just feed it money. That'll be fun. That'll be a great time. Like the way that these things work is there's the shareholders, there's the leadership, and then there's the leadership of the subsidiary. So you've got the shareholders like, give us money. We want money for every dollar we give you and invest in you. Then you've got the leaders of Amazon who are like, hey, Twitch, why aren't you making any money? And then you've got the Twitch leaders like, make money now or they're going to shut us down. So of course they are starting to do these things that don't make sense to us. It doesn't matter that they have 2.8 billion in revenue if 3 billion of it is cost. We don't actually know the exact numbers. Some of the best estimates that I have seen about Twitch's potential profitability or lack thereof was done by Zach Bussey, and he has a breakdown based on data in 2019, which I will link in the description. So think about it. If you had a business that was not very profitable, would you want to keep it? Maybe if it had some benefits to your business in other ways that were quantifiable in other ways other than just it making money on its own. It could be benefiting other parts of Amazon, right? Now let's talk about Kick for a second. Kick is an interesting one, and it's one I've wanted to talk about for a bit because there's a lot of people who will say, well, Kick is destroying Twitch, or Kick is just a copy of Twitch with no rules. Why would you even want to go there, man? So you've got like the two camps that are very extreme. But what I think is really cool is what nobody talks about, which is that Kick, the only reason it's a real competition for Twitch when Mixer has died and that was owned by Microsoft is because it actually differentiated itself from even Twitch in a very meaningful way, which is its monetization. Kick is not actually making money the same way that streamers make money. They're taking a 5% cut. It's 95.5. I think actually they might only be taking a cut right now. Their payment platform, they're not taking a huge cut, and they don't plan to increase that cut. People are like, oh, they're gonna have to increase it. How are they gonna make money? Because they're making money in an entirely different way. They're not making money through subs and bits. They can make money through ad revenue potentially. I don't think they have ads on there yet. They could also do merchandising just like Twitch does, but where are they going to make up the extra? Because people are like, well, you know, Amazon could just stop charging Twitch like for the use of its stuff, you know, like the servers and stuff. And it's like, well, that's not how it works. They allocate costs and revenue to that part of the business, so they know how that business is actually doing. That's not how it works. It's not how business works. It's interesting because there is actually subsidized businesses to try to get people in the door for other products. So a good way to explain that is, say, the telecommunications industry. You might think that for your $1,000 phone, they're obviously making a huge cut, right? Like they've got to be making money on that $1,000 phone. No, that is a subsidization for those corporations, for those telecommunications corporations. They're actually making money from your phone plans, but not from the actual phone. That is actually what Kick is doing with their streaming platform. They are making a direct line into their whole other business, which is a gambling platform. They can utilize their streaming platform in an entirely different monetization process to sustain the business rather than needing that 50% cut from their streamers' revenue. It's so interesting to me, and I want to talk about it more in another video because there's a lot of different routes that corporations, social media, and businesses in general can take these types of monetization practices in the future, as we've now had the social media bubble, which is what in turn is actually causing some of these issues, right? Does Twitch have no idea what they're doing? Well, let's look at the industry as a whole for a second. We have Netflix recently, which has now made it so we can't even share our passwords. The bubble has happened. The bubble for social media. I've criticized the way that Twitch has been run for a long time, and there's certainly mismanagement throughout Twitch, but it's not as simple to say that everyone in Twitch, that everyone working for Twitch doesn't have any idea what they're doing. That's absolutely not the case. I am sure there are people there who, if given the chance and given the actual resources that they needed, could implement a plan that would have Twitch absolutely thriving. But that's not how corporations work. There's red tape. It's why I left the corporate world, because there was so much red tape that you actually couldn't ever get anything real done. Every time that I would suggest something that could actually fix their problems, say you're scooping water out the boat, you're trying to plug the holes, you're doing the band-aids, every single time you would say, hey, here's how we can actually upgrade the boat so this doesn't happen, that we can like go faster, so we can do better. And they'll be like, well, guess what? The stakeholders, the shareholders, the leadership, they're breathing down this leadership's neck, and they're like, we need money now, though. We need money now. When you have all of these pieces together, it's not that it's necessarily everybody in there is greedy or they don't have any idea how to run a business. Yes, there's definitely some mismanagement there, but it's a lot more complex than that. So they probably, because they haven't been doing very well, they probably haven't gotten the increased budget that they would need to actually make the platform better. They don't get to implement some of their best ideas. And the thing is, they have to make decisions just to keep the boat going, just to band-aid just enough, because what will happen if they don't is that Amazon's just going to sell it or scrap it for parts. And that is quite possibly where Twitch is headed. So what does that mean for you as a streamer? It's not all doom and gloom. Just because they implemented some policies that streamers are upset with, and that really big streamers and people even outside of the streaming space are talking about, that doesn't mean that Twitch is all of a sudden going to shut down. There's always a chance of that. So never have that 100% platform loyalty unless you have that sweet, sweet contract. You're the top 0.00001%. In that case, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about already, and you are not watching this video. But if you are one of those top 0.00001% with the sweet, sweet contract to stay on one platform, look, do you. If you or anyone else, produce content in multiple places, see what happens. Just do what you want to do. If you're a hobby streamer, don't stress. Why would you stress about this? Just do what's right for you, do what's best for you. Try not to break TOS so that you're getting kicked off the platform. So these things are important to know. And then use your voice. Use your voice when you hear these things that upset you, but try to use a voice where you are not spreading misinformation. It's why I want to make videos like this. It's why I follow some really great people like Zach Bussey, who are constantly putting real information out there in spite of all the misinformation that other people will spread. Take everything with a grain of salt. Know that there's always going to be camps on either side that are exaggerating. Listen to the leadership everywhere, again with a grain of salt, and just be ready for the ride. The thing with all of business and all of life is that there's going to be ebbs and flows. Go with it. Ride the wave. Don't be afraid of it. Don't define yourself by any one thing or any one platform. It's the best advice I can give you. I'd love to talk more about it in future videos. Also, if anyone from Twitch sees this and you happen to want to hire me on as a consultant, I worked in corporate finance for 7 years. I have my master's in business administration. I'm a full-time creator. I really want to see Twitch succeed. I already have plenty of revenue ideas, and I'd love to potentially analyze and see where other opportunities lie. Feel free to reach out to me at madcurious@gmail.com. I'll put it in the description below, and I'd be happy to provide my resume and rates. If you are not from Twitch, which is probably 99.99% of you, if not 100, please like and subscribe. This is my first video on this channel. I have so much more planned. My name is Mad Curious. This is my Mad Means Business channel, where I'll be talking about all sorts of business things related to streaming, creating, and my previous work in corporate finance, and so much more. Also, if you like gaming, check me out on Mad Curious here on YouTube, and at least for now on Twitch. I'll see you in the next one.